guys, this is Raghav here from Headphone Zone. So we've been talking quite a bit about the latest Headphone Zone collaboration with Lypertek, which gives us the PurePlay Z3 True Wireless earbuds. And we wanted to compare this to a whole bunch of our favorite true wireless earbuds which are out there right now, including what is probably one of the best true wireless earbuds that we've been recommending to everybody, the Sony WF-1000XM5. This is the latest, greatest true wireless earbud from Sony, the absolute flagship, and some would say quite literally the most cutting-edge true wireless earbud that's out there in the market for everybody to compare themselves against. The WF-1000XM5 is an absolute showstopper. Everybody who owns one loves them, and there are so many reasons for which this is considered one of the most popular true wireless earbuds out there in the market. And so we thought that this should make for a great point of reference for us to compare our Lypertek Headphone Zone PurePlay Z3 II, and I'll try and maybe highlight to you both the pros and the cons of both of these. Alright guys, in terms of design, the Sony's carrying case and earbuds are quite a bit smaller and lighter as compared to the Lypertek, which feels a little bit bulkier. But that's also because of the additional amount of batteries that are packed into the carrying case. And of course, it makes for a much clunkier carry as compared to the very sleek, very well-designed Sonys. The earbuds themselves are also quite a bit more compact in the case of the Sony as compared to the Lypertek. It feels a little bit thinner, a little bit lighter as compared to the Lypertek, which can sometimes maybe just feel a little bit bulkier. Now, to my ears, I think both of them fit quite well. It both fits almost effortlessly. With the AirPods, I really struggled a lot. But with both of these, it sounds really natural when I put them on. I get a great seal on them, and in both the cases, the design I think works just perfectly well for me. I really can't fault either of them. Now, I also think that when you consider both of these, the pairing experience of pairing this along with your mobile phone makes a big difference in the practical use case of day-to-day life, having a true wireless earbud with you all the time. Now, both of them don't have the convenience of the W1 chip that Apple has. So when you pop open the Apple AirPods, it just magically connects with all your iOS devices. That's not going to be there with both of them. But you'll find that when you're using it with an Android operating system, the user experience is exactly the same as any true wireless earbud out there. You have to open your menu, go to Bluetooth settings, turn on pairing, and make sure that you find the device to pair with it manually. So there's at least 4 clicks that are involved when you do that. What I would say though is on an iOS device, if you keep the Apple AirPods aside, both the Lypertek and the Sony have exactly the same way of pairing. You'll find that you got to turn on pairing mode, open the settings, go to your Bluetooth menu, and do what you would have done on Android. So only from that point of view, I really don't think that there's any major differences between both of them. They both are equally convenient or inconvenient if you come from the AirPods world to pair these devices with any of your devices out there. What I will say though is Sony has a little bit of an advantage because it features multi-point technology. The ability to pair the device simultaneously with more than one mobile phone or a mobile phone and a laptop and an iPad, it can do that. The multi-point technology in its case, I think, makes it a little bit more convenient for people who have so many devices around them every day and want to make sure that they're using one true wireless earbud along with their mobile phones. And if you've got 2 mobile phones, then you just want to make sure that you're paired with both of them, one for your calls, one for your music, works just fine. The WF-1000XM5 comes with a beautiful touch sensor on the earbud itself. It gives you a whole bunch of things that you can do: swiping up, swiping down, single touch, double touch, triple touch. All of them can be configured to do different things. I think it makes for a very convenient listen. The USP of these true wireless earbuds is, of course, the fact that it has quite literally amongst the best active noise cancellation that you can get in the industry. Sony is the absolute leader when it comes to active noise cancellation, and they've brought that technology into a super compact form factor with the WF-1000XM5. You'll find that we put them on in your ear immediately with a single touch. The ANC turns on. It's absolutely stunning what it can do. At the same time, you can touch it again and now activate ambient sound. So If you're somebody who's wearing this outdoors and you want to make sure that you can hear the traffic and the noise around you, a simple gesture will allow you to do that. So I think in terms of the bells and whistles, the main USP of this product is the touch sensors and the user experience it gives you when married to the industry's absolute best active noise cancellation. If you're someone who's very particular on the fact that you want to have active noise cancellation with you on long flights in a noisy environment, I think the Sonys are going to pretty much beat anybody else that is out there in the industry. Now, the humble Lypertek, on the other hand, you don't have touch sensors. It comes with tactile buttons, so it's a little old school. And for all practical purposes, it doesn't have any active noise cancellation. The only way that this is going to block out outside sound is to give you a perfect seal, which in this particular case, I do get with these silicone ear tips. But using the foam ear tips for a lot of people gives them a much better seal in blocking the outside sound. So there's really no active noise cancellation to speak of, but the passive noise isolation that I get on these, quite frankly, work very well in my case, and I'm quite happy with it. But there are no other features that I can boast about with this. But this is the Headphone Zone YouTube channel, and we over here, of course, think of us as audiophiles. And the only thing that we think we should be judging these true wireless earbuds by is the sound quality, which of course I saved for last, and I want to try and talk about over here. All right, so I'm going to use my Apple iPhone to listen to both of these devices. I'm going to be streaming music on Apple Music using the high-res lossless setting. I'm going to be connecting both of them using the AAC codec because that's the best that I'm going to get from both of them when using with iOS devices. On first impressions, I can immediately tell you that both of them have a similar sound signature. You'll find that they're both going for a fairly neutral, balanced sound signature where no one particular frequency pops out too much. So it's not like it's an extra bass sound signature or a V-shaped sound signature. They're both kind of going for a balanced sound signature, which is somewhere in the ballpark of being neutral. But there are still differences between the two, which are very clearly audible within just maybe 10 seconds of listening to them. The Lypertek, I still think, has a little bit more sparkle in the treble. Everything just feels a little bit more airy, if I can use that word. And because of that, it's so much cleaner to be able to listen to things which have a slight amount of shrillness in the sound. So assuming it's a cymbal, assuming it's drums, assuming it's a nice twangy guitar, it just sounds twangier on the Lypertek as compared to the Sony. Metallic instruments sound more metallic. Woodwind instruments sound a little bit more woody. The bass just sounds so much more cleaner because of the fact that it has a little bit of air. The Sony, on the other hand, doesn't have that. The treble seems to be just rolled off a little bit, and as a result of that, you find all of a sudden that not only can things sound more congested, but it also means that you're losing out on a little bit of that sparkle that just makes music a little bit more believable, a little bit more lifelike. To me, the bigger difference between the two comes from the fact that the Sony feels very two-dimensional. Music sounds like it's coming from a single point. The instruments don't sound like they're very separated. But the minute I listen to the Lypertek, all of a sudden I could tell that the instruments sound separated. I can tell that there's a little bit of a sound stage that opens up in front of me, where each of the instruments has a slightly different distance and a slightly different direction. It just feels so much nicer to listen to, more lifelike. And I can quite literally tell that they've taken inspiration from a lot of the audiophile earphones, which are wired earphones, which are out there, which become comparable to the Lypertek. Sony, of course, has its own sound, the in-house sound of Sony that it's going for. It's something that they've been pioneering for a long time and they've been known for. It's by no means a bad sounding true wireless earbud. If you were to compare this to the Apple AirPods, which I listened to some not so long back, I can immediately tell that the Sony is a big step up from there. But the difference between that and just that little extra which we get in the Lypertek, I believe, is the difference between the kind of sound that most consumers are familiar with and the kind of sound that audiophiles know, like, and deserve. One of the things that most people will be careful about when they're using a true wireless earbud is being able to use them in the gym or using them in wet, sweaty environments. Because these are products which are literally supposed to be with you all day long. You're supposed to have a true wireless earbud through all your activities. So for all practical use cases, you want to make sure that these are waterproof products, at least water resistant. It's interesting to know that the Sony WF-1000XM5 comes with an IPX4 water resistance rating, so it should be fine in sweaty environments. But what's amazing to know is that the Lypertek Headphone Zone PurePlay Z3 comes along with an IPX7 water resistant rating, which means you can even use these in the shower and be quite confident knowing that these don't get spoiled. Or at least the earbuds don't, because the carry case doesn't have the IPX rating, the earbuds do. Sony has gone absolutely all out in making sure that every possible wish list is there in these tiny little earbuds. It's incredible the kind of tech that they've packed into them. One of the most important things that we look out for is the Bluetooth codecs that these wireless earbuds are using. Now, this has the latest generation Bluetooth codecs, everything that you can ask for. It allows you to use LDAC along with any Android devices. Most flagship Android devices these days have LDAC support. And this allows you to listen to Bluetooth transmission with virtually no loss in quality and compression. It does a pretty good job. It's one of the best Bluetooth codecs out there. In addition to that, Sony now even features LHDC, which is probably amongst the highest codec qualities that you can get on any wireless device right now. And the fact that Sony features both LDAC and LHDC means that audiophiles who care about making sure that the sound quality has no compression, at least on their Android devices, will find that this works beautifully well. Now, the Lypertek Headphone Zone PurePlay Z3 only features Qualcomm's aptX, which is quite a bit more compressed as compared to the LDAC. So you should find that the sound quality may not be as good as, let's assume, a device that has LDAC support. On iOS, it makes absolutely no difference because both these devices uses AAC, which is the highest quality that you can get on any Apple supported device. But the question is that despite the fact that you're using LDAC, does the Sony WF-1000XM5 practically sound better than the Qualcomm aptX using Lypertek Z3? Alright guys, I think that's just about as unbiased a review I can give you about both of these products that hopefully highlights the strengths and weaknesses, but more than anything else, really the kind of goals that both of these earphones are trying to achieve in the design direction that they've taken. For me, the WF-1000XM5 from Sony is the most tech-loaded true wireless earbud that money can buy. For me, it's a deserving flagship because Sony has gone all out to create what they think is the best true wireless earbud out there in the market, and which I think a lot of people will agree. Certainly the tech heads who know their tech in and out will appreciate the fact that this has everything one can ask for. Now, it's not cheap. At just about $24,999, I believe that the WF-1000XM5 is asking you to pay top dollar for the very best that money can buy. The Lypertek Headphone Zone PurePlay Z3, on the other hand, is a very, very different true wireless earbud. It doesn't have any of the bells and whistles, no touch sensors, no touch controls, no gyroscope, no accelerometer, no active noise cancellation. None of that stuff is available on the Lypertek Z3. But for $5,999, what you do get, in my opinion, is a phenomenal sounding true wireless earbud. Just the sound quality on these, in my opinion, makes this amongst the best true wireless earbuds out there. And if we have to compare it to the absolute leader, that is the Sony WF-1000XM5, it's incredible to me that the Lypertek comes out just a little ahead in terms of sound quality. It's quite unbelievable. And for $5,999, it's amazing the value that you can get if you're someone who's just looking for a convenient earbud that sounds incredible. Which is why we at Headphone Zone are proud to have had our logo featured on this product, for it to be the first collaboration that we've done with any other brand. Because right here, in the community of audiophiles, we try to keep one simple benchmark for looking at true wireless earbuds, and in that case, the sound quality alone makes this an absolute winner for us.